Hey guys, RPM here. Hope you're doing well. Having a really great day. This video, I'm going to do the review of the new Bitmain S21 Plus. This is a 235 terahash model at around 3564 watts. I will verify the power consumption at my ambient temperature. It's around 20 degrees Celsius right now. And for my American friends, it's about 68 Fahrenheit. So as advertised, this is supposed to get about 15.1 joules per terahash in efficiency. So I'll verify that. But I believe Bitmain tested that at about 25 degrees Celsius or about 74, 73 Fahrenheit. So we'll see if I get similar efficiency at my ambient operating temperature. So thank you to Crypto Miner Bros for sending me this S21 Plus 2 review for you guys and just test out. I know Bitcoin mining right now is quite competitive, and for any residential miners out there, if you don't have cheap electric, let's just say sub like 8 cents, you're not going to be really profitable on this machine. Granted, Bitcoin's price could just go up from here, it's quite volatile. Things could change in a week, more so to the downside, and then you won't be able to be profitable on your Bitcoin ASIC. But yeah, Bitcoin mining has been quite industrialized, and so there's a lot of bigger players out there that have 2, maybe 4 cents per kilowatt hour, and of course depending on the models they have, they're still able to profit and keep those machines on. I'd say maybe over the past year or two, there's been a lot of people who've been getting into these smaller Bitcoin miners, especially as residential miners, even like these BitAxes for, solo mining Bitcoin. So definitely a lower barrier to entry for residential miners for these types of miners like the Nano 3S for solo Bitcoin mining, that is, but for pool mining, you're really not gonna make much at all. So herein lies one of these, big boy Bitcoin miners, and a lot of big players run these types of miners at scale. So I'm not trying to dissuade anyone that is residential miners and, they want to Bitcoin mine with these types of miners, and you have the infrastructure and the environment and a way to extract all the heat, and you have generally low electrical costs, then you got it. But you're not going to be able to run this type of miner in a condo, because this thing is going to be loud, and we're going to test out the sound. All right, and let's do that right now. So let's plug her in. Okay, so let me get a Ethernet cable first. Plug in the Ethernet, and let's turn this thing on, and let's just hear this thing scream. Okay, so it has the new revision. Well, it's not really new anymore. It's been out for I think a year or two now. The P13 to P14 cable, and then goes into a C19 into a C20. Okay, so gonna untangle this. Okay, gonna plug her in into the miner S21 Plus first, and then we're now gonna plug it into my 30 amp 240 volt PDU, and it's gonna go right into here. Okay, I think it's gonna turn on now. It should click. Yeah, it's just made a click. Oh, okay, startup not too bad. Oh, no, I lied. Real loud now. Not terrible startup. Okay, so we'll see how this thing fares when it's actually mining. So I'm gonna go into the computer now, just see what the web GUI looks like. Okay, so I got the IP 10.100.100.232. Type that into the web browser, and now we're gonna type in root, and root, that's a username and password, default username and password. Hit continue, sign in, and we are in. Okay, so obviously it has no pool, and right now, yeah, it's, what? I like this one because this S21 Plus, it's not, the fans aren't maxed out right now. Usually, I know I had an S21 XP, and that one was just screaming without any pool or anything on the initial setup. So this one's a little bit better that way, that, doesn't scream. Okay, so, what's this? User IP suffix, okay. All right, let me get my VIA BTC stuff and let me put it in here. Okay, I'm gonna copy their BTC stratum. I'm gonna go back to the Antminer, paste it here. And there's, I believe, 2 other ports. So they say 25 and 443. So I'm gonna change that here. 25 and 443. 443. And then RPM 2023 is my account name. I'm gonna call this S21 Plus. Yeah, there we go. Okay, copy that 3 times, password XXX, and save. User IP suffix. Okay, so this is an interesting one. I believe this will put the MAC address of the S21 Plus. Ah, let me just click on that. User IP suffix. Yeah, I remember seeing this on a couple Jazz miners, so I'm just going to disable that. I don't need that. I'm going to put my own worker name. All right, we're going to hit save. There we go. And if you guys are watching this far, comment down below your thoughts on Bitcoin mining or this S21 Plus. Man, it's screaming right now. I'm sorry. Just give me your thoughts on this miner, and I will choose a winner for 24-hour hash rate of this thing. So comment down below your thoughts on this thing. Oh man, this thing got real loud. Hopefully you guys heard me. I'm sorry about that. Okay, let's go back out. All right. Okay, so I just put in all that info you guys just saw. It's starting to mine now. It looks like the power consumption is starting to go up. We're at 1273 right now at 228 volt. Okay, 1300. It's rising considerably now. So I'm expecting we're gonna go up to about, advertised it says 3654 watts. Okay, for 235 terahash. Granted, there are other terahash models. I believe there's a 216 terahash model and I think a 225 around there. But the one I have here is the 235 terahash model, and on Crypto Miner Bros this thing is about $4,000. Use code RedPanda for $50 off if you guys are interested. But right now, where we are in the market right now, whether or not Bitcoin's gonna go up or down from here, it's hard to say. If Bitcoin goes down, then the prices of these Bitcoin miners should, you know, start to come down. But if the Bitcoin price starts to go up, then of course we're gonna see Bitcoin miners probably stay where relatively the same price where they are now, maybe go up a little bit more, but that's the risk someone's willing to take, especially during these times. So what really helps is having cheap electric, you know, to run these types of miners. Okay, so it's still climbing. We're at 29, over 3,000 watts now. Okay, just give it a couple more minutes, and actually I want to test the sound. It's actually not too bad. Especially with like the S21 XP, it's actually not too bad either. I'm just a couple feet away. 72 decibels, that's pretty good actually. If I stand like 10 feet away. 67, it's not too bad. Okay, it's actually climbing up in fan speed now. But, oh man, we are at 4,200 watts. Okay, so this is very similar to the Bitmain S21 XP. It actually ramps up very high. Oh man, so yeah, we're 500 watts over right now, but I think it's gonna start ramping down. So that's one of the scary things about this. If you had two of these, man, it's getting real loud now. If you had two of these on one 240 volt 30 amp circuit and you turn them on at the same time, that's gonna pull like 8,000 watts on initial startup, right? Initial startup. But look, now it's creeping back down at 3,700 watts now. I think it's gonna go down. So advertised as 3564. So we'll see if I get that at my ambient temperature here, about 70. Of course, it's gonna start climbing as this thing is gonna heat up my basement here. But oh, this thing's getting real loud. And now it's dying down. Oh man, that got scary. You guys saw this thing was pulling 4,200 watts at one point. The initial startup, 4,200 watts. So yeah, imagine you had two of these S21 Pluses on a, you know, single 30 amp 240 volt circuit. That's gonna trip the breaker. 100%. Okay, so after about, let's just see here, is it gonna update? All right, there we go. Okay, so after about, okay, it says 2 seconds miner runtime, so it looks like it's just starting now. We're at 221 terahash, not at 235 yet, but of course it's still ramping up. Okay, 234, there we go. Real-time average total hash rate, 234, pretty close. But the power consumption is starting to go back up now. 3,800 watts now. We're at 71 Fahrenheit. I mean, this is just after a couple minutes. Is it gonna start going back up to 4,000 watts again? Oh boy. There we go. It's getting louder. It's not too bad. I mean, I can hear it from here. I'll definitely be able to hear this thing upstairs if I keep it here. But yeah, this is gonna go on my ASIC shelf. Okay, 3791. All right, I'm gonna let this go for another 10 minutes. I'll be right back. We'll see if it dies down. Yeah, it's probably just the startup process, so be right back. Okay, it's been about almost an hour, 53 minutes in. This thing is apparently getting almost 260 terahash. And really cool thing here, I didn't even know it shows the ambient temperature in the web GUI here, and also the energy efficiency ratio. So this is pretty cool, but am I actually, you know, at 26.5 degrees Celsius right now? Wow. I'm pretty close. It's at 26 degrees Celsius in this general area. But what has happened here? Why am I pulling 4,200 watts? I thought it's supposed to be like 3,500 watts at like 234 terahash. What's going on? 235 terahash. So I'm getting, I think 260. Let me check the pool. Okay, I only can see past 10-minute average. It says 198 terahash. So obviously it hasn't been 24 hours yet. So, that is quite interesting. 258 terahash. Is this thing like overclocked or something? I don't think so. If I go to settings here, there's no like power mode, high power mode or anything like that. It's just normal or sleep. So I don't have anything specific here as to why is this pulling 4,200 watts after about, you know, less than an hour at this general temperature here. Let's just go. My American friends, it's okay, it's hitting up almost 80 degrees Fahrenheit. So I guess maybe, yeah, that kind of makes sense as we're getting hotter in ambient here. And now that I think about it, you know, what if someone had this in an industrial mining farm? You know, what's the ambient temperatures in those places? I don't know. How is this gonna fare in cold temperatures? I don't know. I've had a bad experience with the S21 Pro. My S21 Pro died after 2 months during the winter time when it was really cold. So I think there is an issue there with cold temperature. The environment didn't really play well with the power supply. So yeah, I don't know what's happening here. Silicon Lottery, did I get some, did I get an S21 like XP maybe? Like a dumbed down S21 XP? Over 4,000 watts. So what's the efficiency there? Okay, you know what? I decided to wait another 5 hours to let this thing go. So it's been about 6 hours now in total. And it says average we're at about 242 terahash. Real time says 238. And the ambient now has obviously gone up to 30 degrees Celsius. And at the pool level, it's showing 270 terahash. That's pretty insane. And yeah, we're at an efficiency of, it says 15.98. But actually, all right, now if we go to the wall, we're actually at 39. It was at 3909, now we're at 3919. So it has come down, okay, but I'd say at 1 hour, I even looked at it at 2 hours, it was still at like 4,100 watts. So looks like, I think it was like some sort of auto tuning, though I was looking at the log and I did not see any like auto tuning method here. It does show the, I guess, 30-minute hash rate, which is pretty cool. So 239, 240. So I'm getting a bit more than advertised, either what the hash boards are getting. So it didn't say anything about like I don't know, like performance tuning or anything like that. I did look under settings just to see if there was like a high power mode. Yeah, there's nothing like that. And yeah, so yeah, this is a pretty interesting S21 Plus. Maybe I got some sort of golden one, Silicon Lottery or something, I don't know. But yeah, I put in 6 hours in at 86 Fahrenheit, 30 degrees Celsius, still an efficiency of 16.1. So we're pretty close across the board. You know, even though an hour in, I was at like 258, but then it died down after, I'd say, about 2 hours and 3 hours later. But 6 hours in, it looks like it's pretty much hard stuck at, you know, this hash rate here. So, pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Let me know down below if any of you guys have a S21 Plus and have seen this, I guess, this power consumption. I'm not getting, you know, 3,700 watts. I'm getting 39. So I guess the ambient temperature definitely definitely plays the part here. And this thing is screaming. It is just screaming. You guys can hear it. My ears are actually ringing now. That's not a good sign. 78 decibels. So yeah, pretty loud Bitcoin miner. But again, guys, yeah, just comment down below. I mentioned before your thoughts on this S21 Plus, and I'll give away 24-hour hash rate. Just comment down below. I'll choose the winner after 24 hours. All right, guys, that's it for this video. Let me know your thoughts. Have a good one. Peace out. Peace out. Man, this thing's loud.